Right, Mitesh, just stay on with that thought. I'm going to come back to you. Rothin Bhattacharyya, EVP Marketing Strategy and Business Development at HCL Infosystems, joins us on the show to chat about the business restructuring. Rothin, hi, morning. What's the objective or rationale behind the restructuring first? And by when can we see the restructuring to be over and start seeing the benefits of it?
Hi. Well, thank you for having me on your show. Our restructuring process has not really started just now. It started almost 18 months ago under a large canvas called Aspire. And we've just put to motion this element of it. As you probably have seen, we have done a step down demerger into 3 entities. These are entities in the hardware and solution space. The second one is in services, and the third is in learning. We started off with, I'd say, the problem statement where we saw HCL Infosystems to be a monolithic conglomerate, and therefore we believed that for the next stage of growth, we needed to put different focuses to different businesses. So whereas our hardware and solutions businesses has been facing some, I'd say, headwinds in terms of the economic environment, we see significant scope of growth for both our services business. That's a 30,000 crore market. We see the learning space to be a significant area of growth for us. Now, this demerger allows us to put together specific management actions very focused on the types of businesses that are now part of these entities. This is a scheme that goes on. We expect it to take about 6 to 7 months. It's a court scheme. At the end of this, we would see, I'd see a new form of HCL Infosystems with the vertical demerger. We would certainly have different types of management actions for each of the businesses, and we hope that the results will show over the next couple of years.
So, Ronit, what business will the parent be left with? Will HCL Info be essentially a holding company with only activities of telecom distribution business?
Well, we're still working the mechanics of this. We've got a 30-day window before we apply for this, before we apply to court for the scheme. But yes, I don't believe that the holding company would have no businesses. It would certainly have the telecom distribution business and some other businesses. These are mechanics that we are building out over the next 1 month.
Right. Nokia is no longer the market leader. What is the future of your telecom distribution business?
Well, we certainly are upbeat on Nokia. We believe that they're a good brand. They continue to remain as market leaders. We believe and continue to invest in our partnership. We see a new range of products coming, so we certainly are not extremely perturbed about the movements in terms of volume growth. Nokia has shown nice clip in their business. Apart from that, we are also building out our multi-brand strategy in non-telecom areas. So we believe that our portfolio will get, I'd say, to some extent de-risked, and going forward we should be seen more as a multi-brand distributor rather than a pure telecom or a Nokia distributor.
Rothin, would you also look at unlocking value in any of these newly formed subsidiaries in the near to medium term?
Well, I think, if you look at the reasons of why we've done the subsidiarization, it allows the board to take various actions. Now, I wouldn't like to make a forward-looking statement of what we want to do, but I certainly believe that shareholders now have a much better view to each individual business.
Give me an example of that.
Well, if you see, for example, our services business, earlier most of our services were built around the HCL hardware product. Today we are a multi-brand services company. We are able to leverage the extremely large infrastructure that we have set up for services to serve even competing brands, like, for example, like Lenovo and Dell. So we believe that will really unlock, I'd say, the capabilities that we have.
Right, Rothin, now HCL is a very old brand. You know, as a school student, I remember first time I entered a computer lab, I saw an HCL computer there. But currently it is not the most desirable computer hardware brand. Why is that?
Well, I certainly believe that, there is a life cycle of a brand. And if you look at probably the laptop space or the desktop space, HCL continues to be, in terms of recall, among the top 3 brands, but it probably might not have the same recall that it had 25 years ago. However, we keep evolving ourselves. As you probably have seen, we've launched our range of tablets where we have market leadership. There, the surrogate brand called Me has got a tremendously high recall, and we are quite happy about the way it's performed.
The last 2 or 3 years have been extremely challenging for HCL Info. Do you think next 2 or 3 years will be rewarding? Because when I interact with some of your shareholders, the kind of sense I'm getting from some of your long-term shareholders is that they're losing patience. They're worried now. They don't believe in the story. And I'm asking you hard questions because when I interact with them, that's the sound bites which I'm picking up.
I certainly believe that we've had significant headwinds. We've seen an environment where capital expenditure has significantly sort of reduced. We've seen significant delays in government decision making. We've seen wide gyrations in foreign exchange fluctuations. We've seen a hard disk crisis that happened a couple of quarters ago. So we certainly believe that yes, we've had an extremely challenging time. Management is aware of the expectations of the shareholders. One of the steps that we've taken is this vertical demerger. We believe that significant focus needs to go back into these businesses. Now, one problem that we had was that when we were a monolithic conglomerate, the problems of one business unit would normally spread into the other. So where we saw mainly, the pains that we had in our system integration and hardware business, that was sort of an overbearing factor in the rest of our businesses. And we believe this is what we have done just now will sort of unlock the businesses. It will insulate a good business vis-a-vis a business which is in a difficult business environment, and we certainly believe that those businesses will perform well. There is significant headroom for growth. HCL is extremely well configured in terms of our capabilities to win in that space, and so we expect that the turnaround should happen in the next 1 or 2 years.
Rothin, in the past there have been reports of you exiting some of your businesses as well. Does this restructuring help in that process?
Well, I think the board certainly looks always at various options. This subsidization will allow businesses to get ring-fenced. There could be some businesses where we would attract strategic partners. There are no such plans on at the moment, or a specific engagement on at the moment, but certainly the demerger does allow each business to get the right type of strategic partner. I wouldn't call them investor, I would say the right type of partner to grow the business to the next phase.
Final question, give me a split of your existing revenue. How much is coming from hardware? How much is coming from telecom distribution? How much is coming from maintenance and system integration? And in the next 2 years, how exactly could your revenue mix change?
So we're in a difficult period. I'd say a sort of relatively quiet period. So I would request you to wait till the end of this month when we announce our results, and we'll be able to share with you the split of revenues. Forward-looking statements are difficult to make at the moment, but I would just request a little patience. Let's wait till the end of this month, and we'll share with you the split of revenues.
Yeah. I appreciate your time, and good luck with your restructuring exercise. Now, Reliance Industries.
Thank you.
Ashwini just pointed that stock out.